If you're an independent artist, you know the feeling. The music touring industry can feel like this massive locked fortress. You've got the music, you've got the drive, but getting a real tour going just seems impossible, right? It's like it's all controlled by insiders. But what if you could just build your own door? Let's get into how you can build a new system completely from scratch.
And this, right here, this is the big secret. The industry wants you to think touring is some kind of dark magic, some complicated science that only agents and promoters understand. But that's just not true. The complexity is totally manufactured. It's a wall they build to keep you dependent on them and to keep them in control.
So, you get to a crossroads. You can go down the agent's path, begging gatekeepers for an opening slot, giving away 10% of everything, and basically having zero control over your own career. Or there's the collective's way. This is a whole new path, totally powered by Web3 tools where you and your community own the whole process, you talk directly to your fans, and everyone shares in the success.
So here's the game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to tear down exactly why the old system is so broken. Then, we'll introduce this new model, the DAO. We'll get into how your fans become actual partners, then walk through the real-world steps to build your own tour. And finally, we'll look at why this decentralized future isn't just a possibility, it's pretty much inevitable.
Okay, let's just start with the shared pain, right? For years, the industry has hammered this idea into our heads that you just can't book a tour without an agent. It's impossible. They want you to feel alone, desperate, because that funnels you right into their system, a system that's literally designed to strip you of your power.
I mean, does any of this sound familiar? You send out 100 emails to venues and you get crickets. Promoters talk to you like you're wasting their time. You're stuck begging for a Tuesday night gig because all the good weekend spots are, of course, reserved for bands with agents. It's a frustration funnel, and all the power and all the money just gets sucked away from you and into the pockets of the middlemen.
But this is where everything changes. Web3 is not just some passing tech trend. It's leverage, pure and simple. And leverage is the one thing that can shatter the bottlenecks that have held artists back for decades. We're not just talking about shifting the power dynamic. We're talking about flipping it completely upside down.
So how do we get this leverage? Well, the answer is a new kind of structure called a DAO. Seriously, just think of it as your own personal booking agency, but it's owned and run by you and your biggest fans. So what the heck is a DAO, really?
Yeah, the name Decentralized Autonomous Organization sounds super techy and intimidating, but the idea is actually really simple. It's basically a digital co-op. The rules are written in code, so they're fair and can't be changed on a whim. Every decision from should we book a show in Denver to can we spend money on gas is made by a group vote. And the money? It's all in a transparent shared treasury that everyone in the group can see. No more backroom deals.
And this is where it gets really clear. In a typical band, maybe one person calls all the shots, the money's in some private bank account you never see, and how you split the profits is some messy verbal agreement that always leads to drama. But in a touring DAO, the group votes. The treasury is an open book, and the profit splits? They're automatic, written into the code based on the rules you all agreed to from day one.
So here's the bottom line. The old system, it's like a casino where the house is always going to win. In a Web3 touring collective, the artists and the fans don't just get a seat at the table, you own the whole deck of cards. The power structure is completely inverted.
And that brings us to maybe the most powerful part of this whole thing. We're moving beyond fans who just listen to your music or buy a t-shirt. We're talking about turning them into real, active partners in your career. Die-hard allies.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds a little out there, a little too futuristic. But what if I told you that this exact community-run model has been working like a charm for decades, long before anyone even knew what a blockchain was?
Check this out. For over 40 years, fan-run blues societies have been doing exactly this. Groups of fans get together in their local towns to support artists they love. They host competitions judged by other fans, and then they send their winners to a huge event in Memphis. It's created this incredible, global, fan-owned touring network that operates completely outside the mainstream industry. It's a real-world DAO, just without the crypto.
And with Web3 tools, you can put this model on steroids. Imagine your fans voting on which cities you should play, or chipping in a few bucks each to help you afford the tour van. They can even organize their own local street teams to get the word out. And with things like Unlock Protocol, they get a digital membership key that gives them special access, making them feel like they are truly part of the story, because they are.
Okay, so the theory is solid, the concept is powerful, but how do you actually do it? Let's get into the nitty-gritty. This is about the practical steps you can take right now to start building your own fan-powered tour.
And honestly, it's way easier than you think. You absolutely do not need to be a coder. Step 1, get a digital wallet like MetaMask. Then you just go to a platform, Oregon or DAO House are great options. You give your collective a name, you decide on your rules for voting, and you click a button to deploy. It's kind of like setting up a new profile on a social network. And just like that, your collective is born.
So what about tickets? You can ditch those big ticketing companies and their insane fees. Using something like Unlock Protocol, you create what's called a lock. That's just your ticket. You set the price, how many you want to sell, and fans can buy it with a credit card or crypto. They get a digital key on their phone, you scan it at the door, and this is the most important part, you own all the fan data. The big guys normally keep that for themselves. Not anymore.
This whole approach also unlocks a ton of new places to play. Forget begging those exclusive clubs for a gig. Think bigger. Or, well, smaller and cooler. House concerts, backyard parties, VFW halls, community centers. You could even rent out the local bar on a Sunday afternoon. These places don't care about agents. They care about bringing people together.
And how do you decide on all this stuff? 100%. 100% of the decisions, from booking that VFW hall to approving the budget for gas money, are made through formal proposals that every single member of the collective gets to vote on. This isn't just about being fair. It completely eliminates all the stupid drama and arguments that can tear a band apart.
All right, let's zoom out for a second, because what we're really talking about here is way bigger than just your band's next tour. This is about building an entirely new, parallel infrastructure for live music.
Just imagine this for a minute. Your touring collective in Chicago connects with another one in Nashville. You trade shows. You guarantee them a great gig with a built-in crowd in your town, and they do the exact same thing for you. Now picture dozens, hundreds of these collectives all doing the same thing, building a real artist-owned touring circuit from the ground up.
So why can't the old-school booking agents survive this? Well, their entire business is built on three things that a DAO just completely obliterates. They rely on the scarcity of gigs, the fear that you can't possibly do it on your own, and keeping artists isolated from each other. A touring collective just wipes all three of those off the map.
And you got to stop thinking of this as some little side project or a cool experiment. Your DAO is a legitimate business plan. It's a structure that proves to sponsors and grant organizations that you're serious. And when your fans become your partners, they also become the most passionate, effective marketing machine you could ever ask for. It creates a kind of energy that money just can't buy.
Look, the old Gatekeeper system is on its way out. The tools to build a new, better, fairer music industry are literally here, right now, in your hands. You don't need to ask for permission.